his lenders. He's caught in the pesticide cycle. He has to go on. There are many more farmers like him. His unease grows the closer he gets to the market. How much will he get this time for his meager harvest? The market in Warangal is buzzing with activity. All the farmers from the region bring their cotton here. The traders guarantee no base price. Every morning, the prices are worked out anew, according to fluctuations on the world market, as the cotton here is meant for export in the textile industry. Cotton as a raw material is worth less and less. The cotton growing area is expanding, and worldwide competition is increasing. In Africa, in particular, cotton can be found at dumping prices. This year in India's cotton belt, there wasn't enough rain, meaning the quality is accordingly low. Anand has found a buyer who's interested in his wares. He's nervous as the checks for quality are carried out. Will his hard work pay off? Yesterday's price per sack was 2,500 rupees, but today it's only worth 2,000 rupees, and 500 are kept by the middleman. The farmer bargains for every rupee, but the traders have agreed on a price. He doesn't have a chance. He has to sell. He pockets only 20 euros, the result of 6 months of hard work in the fields. From the cotton market in Warangal, the cotton goes to Tirupur for textile production. The raw cotton has to be de-seeded and the fibers smoothed. It's all still full of pesticide. Traces of the phosphor-organic chemicals remain in the fibers for at least 2 months. The chloro-organic traces are there for good. But no one checks here to see if the cotton is contaminated. With every breath, the workers draw the poison with the cotton particles into their lungs. Fainting spells and dizziness are the result. An acrid smell fills the air. Their mouths are completely dry, their tongues heavy, almost lame. Many women suffer from constant nausea, the same symptoms of poisoning that we saw in the farmers from the cotton belt. To produce white and colored t-shirts, more chemicals have to be used. In small factories, the cotton is bleached. It smells like a chlorine gas factory. Because of pressure from consumers in Europe, expensive, quickly evaporating chemicals have to be used in the bleaching process. But the workers have to keep on standing in this chemical mix. Their life expectancy is 35 years. For European textile traders, it's important that only few traces of the strong bleach remain in the t-shirt. The poison should stay in India. The result of the bleaching and dyeing process is highly contaminated wastewater. Water usage is immense. This factory alone uses 150,000 liters of fresh water per day. To prevent all of Tirupur being flooded by poisonous water and to allow production to continue, the manufacturers have to process their wastewater. The officials only license operations that at least have pools to contain the wastewater. A first attempt by Tirupur to sidestep an environmental catastrophe. Waste processing plants were built with German development money, but they can't filter out the extreme quantities of poison. Even the processed water is still highly contaminated, with 3 grams of chlorine per liter. With bare hands, the women dig in the poisonous sludge. Nobody knows how to dispose of it properly. The coming environmental catastrophe in this city of textiles can't be stopped. Barely any water flows in the rivers, and what is there is contaminated. Tirupur, the center of international textile production, is one huge stinking sewer. Even the chemical containers are still being washed out in the rivers and used again. The city's inhabitants have long grown used to getting their drinking water from water wagons. The groundwater is poisoned. Twice a month, they get clean water. It's become a valuable commodity in short supply, and its use is rationed. Textile production has sapped the city dry. For hours at a time, the textile workers from the slums of Tirupur stand in line to provide their families with water. After a 12-hour workday, hardly an easy task. Savita is 30 years old and cares for her extended family. Twice a day, before and after her shift, she cooks the family meals. Even though she belongs to the group of better paid workers, she has to watch that not a single drop of water is spilled.
The water that comes out of the tape tastes salty. I only use it to wash my clothes. I have to buy the water I use for cooking, and it's very expensive. We are already using a third of my wages just to buy water.
The women are day workers. They earn just €2 per shift. Savita has to work hard for that little bit of money. 10 to 12 hours every day, she inspects textiles for export, checking for quality and mistakes. Contaminated cotton fibers float through the air. There aren't any face masks, and the workers suffer from the traces of pesticides in the textiles.
I have constant headache. I can't breathe properly anymore, and I always feel nauseous. I have the worst nausea when I have to use chlorine to spray the textiles with the CDC oil. Then I get really dizzy. But I have to get back to work now.
But no one here demands better protection. The workers don't have fixed contracts. Their work depends on the number of orders. The textile market is competitive. The Indian manufacturers are under pressure. They're threatened by cheap competition from Bangladesh and China. The final stage of the process requires the use of notorious formaldehyde. It ensures that the clothes keep their shape and that colors last through many washes. Textiles from Tirupur end up all over the world. Since the industry became aware of the health problems from the dangerous chemicals, random checks are being conducted. Every manufacturer is responsible for testing their own wares. Through quality controls in clothing stores like Hennes and Mauritz, they try to filter out the most dangerous chemicals. But a certain level of residues are permitted. With such a variety of pesticides in use, it's impossible to check cotton products for each and every type of residue. So even if the goods have been tested, that doesn't mean they're free of pesticides. If the pesticides are sprayed directly onto cotton, the chemicals stay in t-shirts for months. Everyone buys goods from Tirupur, Walmart, Eastman, C&A, Metro, and Henderson Moritz, to name but a few companies. With the amount that is shipped to Europe, it's impossible to avoid that these pesticides end up on the skin of European consumers. The logistics are all worked out. It takes just a few weeks for Indian textiles to reach our shops. Even in Europe, the effects of poisonous residues in our clothing have not been sufficiently researched. Each substance is only forbidden once its danger to humans has been proven. Companies like Henderson Moritz allow pesticide residues in their products. The poisonous residues aren't visible in blouses. The companies are well aware of the health risk.
It has effects, and some national legislations are not as good as those in Europe. A company has to take the responsibility oneself and take the issue very serious.
That's why Henderson Moritz tests the textiles and takes shirts which contain too many residues off the market. However, what's still missing on the list of dangerous residues is monocotophos, the very poison that Anand sprays onto cotton. The only alternative would be to buy a t-shirt made from organic cotton, but Henderson Moritz no longer sell them.
We stopped this collection because it no longer made sense economically. We continued it, but there comes a point where, as a company, you have to decide, is it worth it for us or not?
It's a different story at Europe's largest mail-order company, Otto. The company has a special organic cotton collection and even an environmental department. The initiative is supported by the Foreign Aid Ministry. Long-time suppliers of Otto are converting their production to organic farming. That means not just working without pesticides, but even without formaldehyde. So far, the organic materials are more expensive for Otto, but still the collection is growing from year to year.
Otto wants to contribute to sustainable development. We want to give our customers products where they feel that they are not just buying something that's good for themselves, but that's also good for the environment, and they don't have to pay more for that.
Organic cotton is also grown in India, but on the world market, it only plays a tiny role. Just 4% of the cotton used to make clothing is grown without pesticides. The pesticide trade, however, is booming. It leaves its poisonous traces on farmers and the environment in India, and in the t-shirts that Europeans wear on their skin.